Hey guys, we are here with Steve O, and I like always saying that he is the COO of TYT. You never get enough of that one, do you?
No. Yes, I work for a company called the Turks. Have you heard of them?
They signed my checks, which is fitting for where we are at right now. So how did we get involved with American Express and with Spent?
So American Express is trying to raise awareness on this issue of people who are financially underserved. People for a number of reasons who don't have access to the banking system, and they are basically just screwed so badly by fees and interest. And American Express, to their credit, is trying to raise awareness on this issue and start a conversation on what can be done to help these people. And they created this amazing movie based on the lives of these four families, and it was done by David Guggenheim and Derek Doneen, and they wanted to distribute it on a platform that was as egalitarian as possible. For example, if they did it at a festival, only a few people who can afford to go to festivals can watch it. If they did it, at a movie theater, then only those who can afford to pay can watch it. So they wanted to do it on YouTube because that's free. And on YouTube, they had to pick the right partner, and they chose us because we speak to these issues on a regular basis. I mean, we are real, and it's been a great partnership so far, and I personally have used American Express since 1988. My card says member since 1988.
Wow. So you should be in one of those commercials at this point.
Maybe. I want to very quickly explain why American Express can actually help these people with these prepaid cards. Because the problem with prepaid cards is that, in the past, celebrities have endorsed them, and they're extremely expensive fees, just crushing the cardholder.
For example, the Kardashians literally had their own card, and the APR was something like 35% or something crazy.
Yeah, and the fees were exorbitant.
Yeah.
With American Express, they own the network that does all the transactions, and they're the card issuer. So when I have my card and I use my American Express, they don't have to hit me with any fees because they can make money on the business side. So whenever I use a card, they hit the businesses with those fees. So for these prepaid debit cards for the financially underserved, Amex doesn't have to make money off of the card holder. They can make money off the businesses where they use those cards. So for example, if Citibank issues a card, they can't do that because they don't own network. So if it's a Citibank Visa, the 3% transaction fee, Visa takes that.
Right.
So for Citibank to make money, they need to charge the card holder with all these fees. So that's how American Express can actually really help on this very important issue. So I thought that was really interesting. Something I didn't think about before, but it makes total sense.
Yeah, it does make sense, and everyone is walking in right now. So do you have a final thought about a little bit about our partnership with them? Why it worked? I mean, we talk about the 1% and the 99% a lot, but that's not what this is about. This is about this huge amount of people, a quarter of Americans that are underserved. We keep thinking it's just this chasm between 1 and 99%, but that's really not what's going on here.
Yeah, so basically, if you just make one mistake, you could be one of the people that are underserved. In fact, I made a mistake once. When I moved from New York to LA, we closed our checking account in New York, and we opened up a new one in LA. The checking account that we had in New York was Chase, and the one that we opened up in LA was Wells Fargo. It turned out there are a couple of outstanding checks that were never cashed by people that I wrote the checks to in New York, and then they tried to cash it after I'd already closed the account. So those checks bounced. So then you know what it did? It fucked up my credit. Yeah. I'm sorry, it screwed up my credit. And it took years for that to be cleared. Yeah. And that was just a simple mistake because I didn't know that people hadn't cashed those checks yet. So, every one of us are potential victims of, sometimes very rigorous financial standards by these banks. And if you're kicked out of the banking system, you pay heavily for it.